Well, let's get started today. Um, what we are going to be doing today is we're going to be taking a look at a new program that is in CDM plus 11. It's called Sales Orders. And this is a product that we've released for churches and organizations who need a way of tracking sales. So for instance, if you needed to track sales of books from a bookstore or a coffee shop, if you sell organization branded materials such as t-shirts or hoodies, so forth, the CDM Plus sales or orders program will be a great addition to your CDM Plus program. And so if you sell anything, you need to take a look at this new program. Before we get started, I just want to let you know what we're going to do today. We're going to go over, have an overview of the sales order program. We'll show the process of entering and updating an inventory item. We'll enter a sales order and print a receipt from that order. And we'll look at some reports and specifically print out a sales order summary and maybe some others. So we will be answering questions at the end of the talk. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a chat button. Click on the chat and you can enter questions at any time during this talk. Chris Widener is monitoring the chat window and we will answer as many as we can at the end. So the sales order process, it's a very simple process. It's enter in your product inventory. Then once you have your inventory entered, you enter the sale of a product from that inventory. And then you can analyze your inventory and the sales. So you can track your inventory, you can print sales orders, print sales order receipts, sales order summaries, inventory lists, all kinds of different things. So what we want to do mostly today is give you a demonstration of this product. And so I'm going to get out of this and open up CDM Plus. And so we will start by looking, if you own the sales order program, you'll see that it will be under a new menu item called sales orders. And there are only 3 items in this menu. Welcome to sales orders, which gives you the ability to, of course, to open windows, gives you how to get started, enter inventory items and so forth. And windows just tells you the 2 windows you have, and you can see a list of all your reports. So if we use the getting started window, you see the first thing we need to do is enter in inventory items. So we'll click on inventory items. And we'll bring this up here where we can see it a little bit better. And here we have 12 inventory items already entered into our system. And if you look down in the detail portion of the window, you see that we have a number of different items that you will enter information in. So we're going to enter a new item, and we're going to call this FCC t-shirt. And we're going to put it under a category of apparel. Now, under this category, this is a item that you define in the master coding system, and you can have an unlimited number of categories defined. In our case, we don't. We have a really small set, but you can have as many as you need. Now you can have you can enter in a SKU number, and this is a number related to the inventory item itself. And we're going to call this TS 2390-1. This number is something that you make up. It's for your tracking. So if you are going to have barcodes to track this information or whatever, you could use the barcode number. There could be a vendor part number. This is the number that you use to order this product and reorder it. The vendor record, we can click on here and we can go, and this will bring up our vendor list from accounts payable. And so we're going to come down here and we're going to say that we're getting our t-shirts from Lifeway. And we've pre-ordered, we already ordered, and we have 30 items here. And this is for the small size. This is a taxable item. So we want to put a check in here, and your state tax percentage is not something that you can enter. You will need to call our support line and provide some information, and then we can enter that taxable percentage into the system. The cost of this specific item, that's the cost to you from Lifeway in this particular instance, was $12.99, and you're going to charge $13.99 for in your selling of this product. So once we have that entered, we click on save, and then you just continue adding your inventory until you have everything complete. Now, another thing that happens when you are working with inventory is your stock becomes depleted and you need to restock that item. And so, like, let's just say that this Southern Devotionals has been going pretty well. We only have 6 on hand at this time. And so we want to restock this. And so we've already got an order in from the Christian Church Publishing House. And so over on the left, we click on the restock button. And this comes up with the inventory items on hand. And we've ordered 10. So we're just going to type 10 in there. And now you see a new quantity on hand of 16. And we click on save. And so now we've restocked that item and that's ready to go. We don't have to worry about running out this coming weekend. So now with our inventory items entered, we're ready to begin entering in sales orders. Now, if you go back to this window, it says the next step is to enter customers. A lot of times we won't know the customers that we're going to have. It could be people that have just come into the church or organizational office to purchase something, and so we don't know their name at the time. So we can't always put this information in before we start selling product. So if you do know customer names, you can enter them here. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're just going to go and we're going to say, we're going to start taking orders. And so we open up open up sales orders window. And here you see right now we have a number of orders that have already been entered into the system. But I want to show you how this works. And so we're going to take an order for a new devotional. And we click on this, we can click on this list here, and this will bring up our customers from accounts receivable. And we're going to look through this list and we're going to say, wait a second, this person is not in this list. So we need to add a customer. So we can add a customer right on the fly. So we click on add customer. And again, this is going to open up customer records from accounts receivable. And it will create a new record. And we're going to call this is Amanda Hemphill. And so we're going to give this a code of that. Now, this is a good opportunity if they've come up to you and to purchase this and everything, you can get a phone number and an email address for them so that they would be on your mailing list again. So let's say they provided you a phone number and an email. And once you have that information, if you want to get any other information, that's fine. You could also, if this person is a member of your church, you can link their address record directly to this customer record, and just by clicking on select address. And so that's another option for you. But we're going to click save here, save Amanda's customer record. Close our customer records window. And if you look now, Amanda's name shows up in our customer list. We double click it and her name is entered in the customer field. Now we're just going to tab over and we have an order date of today's date. And we can give specific orders a discount, a standard discount rate. In our case here, we're going to give a discount rate of 3%. And now we're going to put in the order of the inventory item she wants. So the first thing she wants is this Women's Daily Devotional, and she wants 3 of those. If you notice, sales tax is not showing up yet. Just we'll wait and you'll see that come into play here in a second. Here it's taking the standard discount rate of 3%. If we look at this adjustment drop down, you'll see that you could discount these things by line item. You could give it a flat rate, or you could just choose no discount rate, no adjustment, no discount rate at all. Well, she's not done. She's ordering some other things. And so she's going to order a Bible. She's going to order 1. This one is not under the standard rate. It's not going to have any adjustment to it. And if you notice, I'm just tabbing my way through and I've created another one. And she wants the Bible monogrammed. And what you see that there's no quantity on hand. Well, this is really not an inventory item per se. So in this case, it really wouldn't matter. But if we saw this, we could then be prompted to say we need to order some more. But in this case, we're not going to worry about it. Here, this is just going to have a flat rate, okay? And we're going to, it's going to have a standard rate again of 3%. Okay, so our total before tax is $109.48. And so if we go down and look at the summary area in the bottom right, we'll see that subtotal is $109.48, but we have not provided the state, what state tax we're going to use. So we click on the drop down and we're going to choose Kentucky 6%. And so there's that rate. And so our total for this order is $115.18. She is going to pay by check, and she also has a gift card. And so she's going to pay $75 by check. And then she's going to pay the remainder from a gift card that she had. It was a $50 gift card. So we see that now the total payment here is $115.18, and it is then shown over here. And so with this addition of the payments now, we have a balance of 0, and we can save this record. Now, when you save it, it comes up and would you like to print a sales order report? This is like your receipt, and we'll say yes. And we'll click on screen. If you're going to print this out, of course, you would choose print to paper. And so just to give you an idea of what this report's going to look like, it's going to provide a listing of the inventory items that were purchased, along with the payments, and then a summary of the transaction and the payments. And you provide this to your your customer as a receipt. So with that, that's as simple of a process as you can get. You would just continue adding sales orders as people come and purchase and everything. But now you have information in the system. What can you do to get it out? Well, one of the things to think about is how do you determine if how many items you have in your inventory. So what you can do is, if we can go up and look at some reports now. So we can come down and run a sales orders report. We see we have these listing and export reports. And we can see that we have an inventory item custom listing. So let's take a look at this. So we'll open this report. We're going to look at any quantity on hand. We're going to look at all the different categories. These were the ones that were defined in master coding. And we'll set up our report columns. We want to see the description, the SKU, and the quantity on hand. And if you want to use this as a means of taking inventory, you can then add a blank column. And so what we've done here by doing that is, when you are selecting your custom list, you can add a blank field. And that's what we did here by using actual quantity for the blank column. Now, when we have that set up, we can now take a look at this report. And this report, again, provides the quantity on hand. So we can get a quick look by category here of the items that we have on hand for the different categories. Now, now you see how it is sorting by category. So if you come to configure sorts, we're sorting by category first, and we're subtotaling, and then we're going and sorting by description. So we are sorting by category, and then within the category, we go and sort by description. If you wanted, you could change that and sort by quantity on hand. So you see here is the actual quantity column, that blank column. You could print this out, go to where your inventory is stored, and take a look and add the numbers of where you are. Again, in the monogramming, it's a service, so we're at -2, so we know we've had at least 2 opportunities to monogram items. Another report that you can look at under inventory would be the inventory item inventory item quantity adjustment custom listing report. So we're going to look at inventory items that have been adjusted between December 1st and December 18th. Well, again, this is a custom listing and export, so you can go to columns. And here we have an adjustment date, adjustment type, and so forth. If you see what columns you actually have available, you can see that you have these under quantity adjusted. And then if we wanted, we could add some under inventory item like description. So let's just add description to that. And let's move that up to the top. And if we wanted to add any of the other items, we could, but we're just going to leave it at that for right now. And so we're going to refresh this and take a look at this report. All right, so here we see again, we're sorting by, now we're sorting by actual inventory item. So we come here and look at description and see we're sorting by description and then adjustment date. So here we see that the large hoodies, we entered a restock, we restocked 10 of them, and we had 1 order on the 17th. We had 2 orders for the medium hoodies, and so forth. So we can go down and look. Here is where we added the new inventory item, FCC t-shirt, small. You can see here that the adjustment type is considered initial. Now, when you go back and you do a restock, you'll see that the adjustment type will be manual. And so you can come down, you can see all of the different items that we have and when we entered it, and then also what orders that were taken. With respect to actual sales orders, we have a few reports like the sales order, custom listing, and we can look at line items and payments. We already looked at the sales order. This is the window that we were prompted for, and we printed that showed what the order was in the payment. Another report that we can look at is the sales order summary. If you're familiar with the CDM Plus contributions, this window, this is what it reminds me of in some ways. If you look here, you have, we're going to look at the sales for today. And again, we're going to select all the different payment types. And let's just print this out. And what we see here is we see a listing of each line item total. Okay, and then how much the sales tax was collected, and if there was any shipping and so forth. And then we have a breakdown by payment type. So we had $52.26 here for cash, and then check and so forth. This sales order summary would be a great way on a daily basis, I think, to reconcile your till. You've accumulated so much cash, you've accumulated so many checks and so forth. You can verify that your system, the amount of monies that you've received is what the system says you should have received. So this is a really convenient way of taking stock in what sales took place on a certain date. And just to look at one more report, and we'll go and look at one of the sales order reports, like sales order payments custom listing. And one thing I did not mention, this is a custom listing and export. And all of the reports I was looking at with custom listing and export, you not only have the ability to print the report, you also have the ability to export that report. So you could put that report into Excel and do a further analysis on it. So like, for instance, if we wanted to look at sales order payments on October the 12th, okay, we have a sales order date and so forth. These are the columns we're going to look at. And then we hit refresh. Well, this gives us who the customer was, the sales order date, and the amounts. Well, I could print this out and look at it, but I could also come over here to data, and now I can export this. But with the new features within CDM Plus 11, I not only can I don't have to export it and then import it into Excel. I can just click on the Excel button, and this is going to print this report to Excel. And so now you see that you have your overall grand totals for these, but you also can see the sales order dates, the sales order totals, the amounts, and then the balance due. And so if I wanted to start tracking how much each sales order was for over a period of 6 months, I could. I could look at and see if for some reason we should have a balance for any of our customers. This would be, you could do a lot of different analyses by being able to export this information directly into Excel. So with that, that is a very quick overview of the new sales order program that is in CDM Plus 11. This is, if you, like I said earlier, if you sell anything, you will want to consider the purchase of the sales order product. And so you can always get in contact with our sales team at 877-891-4236, or you can email them at sales@cdmplus.com.